Hey, hey, Shri. Good night. How are you tonight?
I am doing amazing. How about yourself?
I am great. All smiles tonight.
All smiles. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, tonight our topic is ways to effectively host a live stream. So,
Mhm.
Shri, I am giving you the platform for you to delve into the audience, ways how to effectively host a live stream.
So, first off, for those who are joining in, you know what? Tell us where you from in the comments. Tell us where you're from. Where are you joining us in? What city, what state, what country? So, as far as lives go, the whole journey began last year, actually 2 years ago, when I started my business. And it was told to me, you need to share testimonials. And it was placed on
Mhm.
my heart, hear their journey. And here I am, like, how am I supposed to do this? I don't have the equipment, I don't have anything. And then I saw my friend doing lives during COVID, and I was like, that's wow. That's how. And so I started my Instagram journey of interviewing entrepreneurs from all industries all over the world. And, there were some bumps on the road, but I eventually figured it out. I'm still figuring it out. And
Yeah.
here we are today, over 100 lives later.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
So,
welcome.
so I want to ask Antonio,
Okay,
what
no
drew
problem.
you to my live first?
This is two hosts here, so I am a host, you are a host, so two of us asking each other questions going forward. So this is very interesting. So, what's the question? Um,
I said, how did you? So let's give some context to our viewers who are joining
okay,
tonight. Like, how did we meet? So, for guys, I didn't meet Antonio on LinkedIn. I actually met him on Instagram. So the question came up is, how did you find me on Instagram?
well, I am on all social media platforms. You know, some people says that you should focus on one platform. I say no. Do not study to focus on one platform because you can repurpose content. The more platforms you on is the more visibility that you will get and is the more people that you can reach. So it makes sense. So I am on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, basically all platforms. So being on Instagram, I my content is basically news, sales, and also things that my audience would like because I have a strategy in terms of how I grow my following because I know to myself by providing sales on my platform, just for me, not for anyone else, it will take a longer time because on Instagram I utilize that platform pre-COVID. I used to sell women clothes, and since with the pandemic I pivot and I realized I said that to myself, if I'm in sales and marketing, better I just focus on that. So I pivot from the selling of women clothes due to the pandemic. No one have anywhere to go. It have no boat rides, no parties, nothing like that. And decided just to focus on the sales and marketing. But at the same time, and I have the following from the women clothes when I had the business. So now your following will decrease because you don't have any women clothes items anymore. So I now have to, use my head and be like, okay, you want to maintain your followers. How can I do that? I know to myself, in my country, Trinidad and Tobago, Caribbean region, we like bacchanal. So providing news where, someone and the next person may fight or, you know, just funny videos, and also I'll provide a little sales content in between. So I will try to keep the following going. So that's just my strategy. Everyone have their own strategy. And being a sales professional, I just go on Instagram and I search up individuals, go on sales professionals' pages and engage in their content and so forth. So as I am going through and trying to provide great content and input great content also. So I bounce up on stream and I am seeing, I said, but this young lady is doing a wonderful job. Let me reach out to her and ask her if it is that her and I can do a video together. And she was like, okay, no problem. And we did it. And now we are doing our next one. So that was the journey, basically, in a nutshell.
That is basically a journey. So, did anybody respond back with where they're from?
Where they're from?
Yeah, because we asked earlier, where's everybody tuning in from?
On. Nobody has yet, no.
Oh, okay. So if you're catching the replay,
Yeah.
you're to this point, put in the comments where are you tuning in from. So, you know, thinking about a live series takes time. So for me,
Yes.
I used LinkedIn Learning because I was like, how can I create a live series? And this was prior to COVID. How can
Mm-hmm.
I had to understand lighting, backdrop, and I leaned into what I do know, which is sales, and I do know about asking questions. And at that time, it was a little bit of active listening. So when I went into this, I said, okay, I'm going to focus on entrepreneurs and I'm going to bring them on and I'm going to learn. This is going to be my master class. And I'm
Yeah.
going to see in 1 year how far this takes me, how much I learn. And it actually surprised me as to how much I learned and how much goes into creating a live series. So for you, Antonio, like when you started realizing that live is beneficial for your business, how did you structure it so that it could be, like that you continuously have somebody on in a time, so that you're every week your audience has somebody new to watch?
Well, I basically do the outreach. So I will reach out to individuals who I see in potential in, and I will say to them, let's do a live video. Some of them might be shy, I said, but at the end of the day, coming out of your comfort zone is something that you want. You're saying that you are shy, but so what? So what if it is that you come and do the live video? Somebody may see you, whatever services you may be providing, somebody might reach out to you and they might accept your services. So just go out there and just make that uncomfortable comfortable. Because while you are in the live video, you will be uncomfortable at first. But going down into the live, you will feel comfortable. So these are the things that we want people to understand, that anytime you are feeling uncomfortable in any situation, that means you are growing. But if you are always comfortable, that means you are stagnant and you want growth, because you do not want to stay in the same position, or you do not want to stay in the same growth in your company, your business. You want to scale. So, always try to be uncomfortable.
Always, always. I
Yes.
mean, when I started, I was always like, well, how am I going to keep up with? I want to do this. If you're thinking about doing a live, whether you're using LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube or even Instagram, you have to think about, okay, can I commit to this consistency? Can I commit to the days and the times? Because when you first start, everybody's like, who is this? Why is she going
Mhm.
live? Like, what is she doing? He are doing? But when they start to see consistency, then they're going to be like, then they realize, oh, this is something. I need to
Yes.
pay attention. There's also the back end, the marketing. I mean,
Mhm.
for you, how have you found what's effective for marketing for you?
For me, marketing, the modern day sales professional have to market before they sell. So some sales professional always have the interpretation that they're all about selling and not about marketing. But marketing is building brand awareness for yourself, because you, as the sales differentiator in the market, have to make the difference. People buy from people. When you leave to go from one company to the next, you are carrying your customers with you, because they now buy into you and not necessarily the company. So I get to realize now the whole essential aspect of marketing. And I told myself that I have to put myself out there, just not on one platform to limit myself, but on many platforms. So right now, I'm providing news on TikTok platform, and so far, so good. Many people reaching out and saying, why it is you don't do a Facebook Live, a Instagram Live. Yesterday, a guy told me to speak about vaccines and employers. I did that. He was thankful for the video that I did. And then he told me if I could do part two. I said, well, I wouldn't do part two, but whatever information you need, I will provide it to you. So I just realized that you have to market yourself, build that brand awareness so that prospects over there will always keep you top of mind on the services that you provide.
Absolutely. And you brought up a really good point when you said, I had somebody ask for something,
Mhm.
the questions, the kind of people that they want you to bring on, your audience will tell you. So that, like, once
Yes.
you start becoming consistent doing it, then people will start saying, hey, can you ask questions like this? Or can you find out about this? And if you are delivering back to your audience, because your audience is everything, like you guys, if you're catching the live or the replay,
Yeah.
when you watch this, if Antonio is not showing you or providing you with something, tell him in the comments. Tell him,
Yeah.
what do you
Hmm.
want to see more of? Because as somebody who is a creator, it's hard. Because I have journey of an entrepreneur. For me, it's a little bit easier. I just bring different guests from different industries.
Right.
You are let's say, a mindset coach or a business coach, or you have a product. I mean, a product is a little bit easier, but nonetheless, you need to be able to bring on people that you
Hmm.
fit your audience. But also, have you ever brought on a guest that you had seen as a potential lead, but they didn't know, and you were selling them?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And you meet so many people. Sometimes you might bring on a guest, and that guest is someone who watching you so long and may ask, if it is that you can come and work for them, whether it be group training, individual training, or even a job opportunity. So I interviewed a lot of individuals who I saw potential, you know, to work with them going forward. And they are all too saw potential to work with me going forward. So it was a blessing in disguise. And you do not know who is looking at you. You do not know who maybe want to do a live with you, because one lady who lives in my country told me, dear me a time, and said, you don't do live videos with local individuals. I said, yes, but you have to reach out. I said that, most people reaching out is more people internationally, but I would not say that I do not want someone who is locally to do a live video with. No, because it's my country. So I love my country and I love my people within my country. So I will do that. But you might not get the people might not be reaching out to you the way that you might want them to reach out to you locally. So I am getting more, traction internationally.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, did you always have people reaching out to you, or did it happen over time?
Well, I did reach out to people also, right? So I would say like 75% reaching out and like 25%, inbound. But after a time, when you reach out to individuals, they now might refer someone and said, hey, can you do a live with this person? Because this person seems to have that potential, that vibrantness in them. So you just find that people just reaching out. So I even had a lady who did a live video like one day, and then she told me her friend was watching the live video and she was interested and she liked how it is that it was no interrogation. It was like a two-way conversation going, and it was so, subtle. And she was like, my friend, she really wanted to do a live video with you, but she's a bit shy. I said, well, let her come on board. We will do a live, but I wouldn't interrogate her because it's a conversation. It's not an interrogation. It's just a nice flow two-way conversation. I will ask questions that I know to herself she will be comfortable with. I do not want to ask somebody questions that they are uncomfortable with, and then after they and all feel tense, and when you catch yourself, they just blank out. That is something that I do not want to do at all. You want to make your guests feel most comfortable going forward.
You brought up some good points. Like, first off, when you're starting out, you do have to ask people. It
Mhm.
took me nine people, nine people. Before one said yes. And then once you start the rhythm and you get people on, eventually you start getting people to be on with you. And
Yes.
then you were saying about what kind of questions, like, you have to be upfront with the individual that you're bringing on. Like, this is the kind of questions that I ask, this is what it is about. And it's up to the individual who's coming on to say yes or no. If they say no,
Hmm.
that's their choice. But if they, especially if they were referred, it makes it easier. But if it's somebody new, and I give this hack to get somebody to go on your live, you need to build a relationship first
Yes.
before you ask them to come on your live. It's different if they ask you because they were watching you and you're like, okay, I have a questionnaire. But when you're
Hmm.
asking somebody, you have to have that relationship. So for some of my guests, it took me, a month or two before I asked. Now, some people might think, well, why would you take so long?
Yeah.
Because I built that relationship and I connected with them, not because of business, and like really supported them. Next thing you know, when I asked, I was like, hey, it would be an honor for you to be a guest of mine.
Hmm.
They were like, yeah, because by then they've already caught some of my lives. They already see what I'm about. They're like, yeah, I want to bring her.
And the next thing I would say, Sri, is that, being on lives, it making you now build your confidence and be able to speak better, because each time you go on a live, you could watch the live on a replay and see where exactly you went wrong, and just basically, just um note to yourself that, here, what these things I did wrong, I have to do it better next time. You have the opportunity to do it better next time. It's not to say it's one life. Everything you should be doing with your lives is always watching back on the replay, see where you went wrong, and be able, going forward, to do something better. And it's all about just bettering yourself, bettering yourself, bettering yourself, until you tell yourself, here, what? I am great at doing my lives, and just trying to be the best. Tony Robbins said it best. What it is you practice in private is what you'll be rewarded in public.
Mm,
So just keep on practicing, practicing. And besides the live, sometimes it's good to, when you're reading, talk aloud, or sometimes you go by a mirror and you speak aloud. So always trying to practice, practice going forward. So when it is you come on these opportunities, you can be able to flow, and you'll be so cool that it'll be like just a normal conversation. Pick up the phone and I call Sri and say, Sri, what's up? What you doing? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that, and make it simple. It's not hard.
I know. We actually did call on the phone and talk to each other before this. Um,
So true, so true.
but even there's what's called Toastmasters. I don't know if you know are aware of Toastmasters. It's a
No.
international speaking. It's an
Mm-hmm.
international speaking group, and you have people who come together and you go through the program and you're given prompts on what to speak on, and then you have somebody who will sit there and say, how many times are you saying so, that,
Yeah.
somebody who's timing you, somebody who's evaluating you so that you can get better. And I will say that Toastmasters really did push me to another level of a public speaker. I would say if I could go back to Toastmasters, I would, because it's so helpful. So just like you said, you only get practice if you go out there and you do it. And I can suggest to anybody who's watching, catching the replay, Toastmasters. If you have in your local area, you can, join one, or if you don't, you can create
Mm-hmm.
it. Just contact Toastmasters and they'll give you everything you need to be able to start a chapter of where you're located.
Okay. That is great. And in terms of, like, live stream tools, what tools should someone need to have an effective live stream going forward?
So I don't do Facebook or YouTube, but I do IG live. And I would say
Yeah.
the light that's on me right now, this
Mm-hmm.
light, this is how you get really nice light. But if you don't have a ring light, then you definitely you can use the room light. You just want to make sure you're not underneath the light so it casts a
Mm-hmm.
shadow. You want to step back to where, how you see our faces. There's no shadow. That's what you want. And then back here is actually a picture, and then I just put a sari on top of it. So you
So
see,
Shri, I have bad lighting because I am seeing my shadow.
see, you gotta make it work. Or you could put like a background like this, where it does complement your skin, so you stand out, not
Yes.
anything else in the background. If
Mm-hmm.
you're using like Zoom, you can use those virtual backgrounds. But I've also learned that if you have a background and you place things in positioning them, like you have your bookcase, you have things that represent who you are, those subtle things make a difference, because when people are watching you, it you have to understand, it goes back to branding. You're not, your company can say, like,
Yeah.
let's say my company, Next Level Consulting, I represent my company. But
Mm-hmm.
when you look at behind, and I'm telling you, I provide great service, I am this, I am that, and then in the back end, I'm taking forever to answer back. That's that's really hurting your brand. Same thing with the image that you portray. You can have certain things you talk about. I love quotes, and I love, motivational things, but you have in the background something opposite that's hurting your brand too. So you want to make sure everything is in alignment. So even if you don't have a proper background, you could just use a cloth and just make it clean.
Yeah.
You can use, or you can set up an area where that's just your background, where you have position, books, picture, whatever represents you, you can have that.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have Zoom, you can create a virtual background. Again, it's also positioning the things in such a way that it represents you.
And I would say, Shri, I love your background. Why is that? Because the color, it brightens you. And some people feel that you have to have the best picture for your background. You don't need that. You just need colors makes everything great. Like for your profile picture, your background in the profile picture, if it's colored, it more stand out. When you commented on someone post, they will always be like, hey, let me look at this person profile and these things. So colors have a lot to do with it, especially your background. Sometimes you don't want your background to be too plain because people are visual. So you want it to be eye-catching. So your background, this though it might be a material that you use, just the color, and then blue is my favorite color. So that alone, I would say that I love. So it's all about just making the audience eye-catching, and just you want them to focus on you. So one of the great ways for them to focus on you is by having bright colors, because I am focused on you and I just loving the blue in the background. So as simple as that.
Well, you
So
know what? If there's people on right now or catching the replay at this point, I would love to
mhm,
know, what is your color? Because if you know colors, colors represent something. So this
yes,
month is this color, but next month will be something, another color. But as a, if people know, do you know what the different colors mean? Like, what does blue mean, red mean? Would love to
yes,
know.
because like for example, what I know about colors is like red symbolize food. So when you watch like KFC and all those fast food outlets, you will always see some sort of red in the establishment. So I only learned that just the other day. So if I backward, I will take that. But I only learned that the other day. I never really paid it any much attention going forward, per se. So it's just to show that each color have its own symbol to it.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's why if you go, I have like blues and I mean, I had to make some quick changes
Mhm.
recently, but I have, even on Instagram, I live with the blues and the white hues, just because I know blue stands power. So that's why
Yeah.
you'll tend to see that in my color scheme. Same thing with, now LinkedIn, in my banner, I have blues, but that's because I'm
Hmm.
just being consistent in what I'm doing. And that's also a
So
brand
you're
too.
a powerful woman. Blue
Yes.
for street, powerful woman. So how Instagram you utilizing that platform for your live videos, and some people might want to find out, well, you on LinkedIn, but you're utilizing Instagram Live, which is great, but how come you're not using LinkedIn Live? Or
Well, it's I'm slowly coming around because out of respect of where I'm current in my current situation, I want to make sure everybody's okay, and I'll leave it at that. But also for me, um, I want to understand LinkedIn. I've always dreamed of being on
yeah,
LinkedIn Live, but I want to make sure I understand it. So to some extent, it's going to happen just in due time. So that's just how I'm gonna.
mhm. Okay, okay. And what are some of the hacks would you say, for like live streaming on Instagram? Because do a live video on Instagram, two, three times. Instagram is a great platform because a lot of professionals utilize Instagram. Let's be real, you know. So, what are some of the hacks would you say for the live streaming on Instagram, since that you interviewed almost like over 100 individuals thus far?
I would say when you go live on your phone, put it on do not disturb because everybody wants to call you.
Yes,
And
I do not understand that. Some people might see you on an Instagram live and want to pick up the phone to call you. Sometimes just out of wonder if some people just, I don't know, out of this world or something,
yeah,
or
it's
want to message you,
I had
on
somebody
our,
I had somebody call me like four times during a live, and I knew that they were calling, and it was somebody on Instagram. I was like, he got restricted. I'm sorry. Like,
yes, yes,
that's just
yes,
being rude. If I didn't pick up the first time, why are you calling again? Like,
so true,
you need to
so true. And
respect that it should be. I will say this. I've learned this. Don't just pick up and call somebody just because you connected with them. You don't know them.
mhm,
Out of
yes,
respect, could set up a date and time, and if the method of contacting them is a DM chat, then do that. But there should be an agreement between both of you. It shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm just going to call
mhm,
because we're connected. It does not work like that. Let's just be respectful of people. I That's just me.
yeah, agreed. Because she, why I said that for? I now saw someone calling me, and I sure this person saw me on this live and called me, and I was like, this person for real? This person for real? Because this person has called me during the day. The person who called me in the night, and I just 100% sure. Some people might say, "How are you so sure?" But I am sure. But what you expect me to do? To stop the live for a minute and pick up the phone and say, "Hello, what's up? What do you want?" So ridiculous. That is being ridiculous. It's like, I don't know.
It,
I do
you
not know.
know, we don't know why people do what they do, but
Yes,
let's just have respect for each other and not do
so
that.
true.
Something else that I have as a hack for lives is, everybody wants to know, well, how can I get perfect streaming? You have to use the internet to get perfect streaming for Instagram. And if you have a lot of devices connected to the internet, then that causes your live to be interrupted. Also, if you have, how is your Wi-Fi at your house? Find the place where it's the strongest, and again,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you have good lighting, whether it's a ring light or the room light, whatever it is, so that you are seeing clearly on the screen.
Yeah. Because which part I am right now, to be honest, the Wi-Fi is not that good. So in between our live, I saw that it was ticking. But normally, when during the course of the day, when I go and do lives, it doesn't have any sticking at all. So where I am, the live would be fluctuating. So that is so true what you said. You have to put yourself in places in the household or in your business place that where you know that your Wi-Fi is most active than when you go somewhere and then you realize that you might cut off and then start over. That is something that you do not want to, happen to you at all. So
Absolutely.
Wi-Fi connectivity is most important. And also, I would say you have to smile. And someone told me that when I'm doing my live videos, I must smile. And I love that because I love positive criticism because I always want to know how to develop myself going forward. So that was thankful. I must applaud that person for that. And I will smile, smile, smile.
It was
So
me.
yeah,
Well, here's the thing. You may go live and your guest may decide to take over, which is fine. And I said,
mhm,
we should, as a host, we control the show, but we can't control the person that comes on. So you have somebody who's coming on as you're live and it doesn't go as planned. Always smile, always show positivity because
yeah,
it's in
yes,
the replay, it's in the later that you come back and people are like, why didn't you smile? It because they don't know the whole situation. They don't catch the whole live. So if you're just smiling the whole time, they always will, they'll figure, if they watch the live, they're going to figure it out. Why? You just kept on smiling, you kept a good attitude. But if you are unhappy or if you're not, showing that, if you're always like, I understand if someone's telling you something very tragic happened to you, you don't want to smile like that would not make sense. But in most majority of the time
yeah,
while we're talking, smiling does make a difference. It invites the individual, even if the person on the
so
other
true.
side is taking over, and you're just like, okay, I just got to sit here, let them. They're doing my job. They will talk themselves to being like, okay, now it's your turn. Okay, thank you.
That is so true. And you know what I realized also too? You have to know, well, in my case, I would say like my live videos, I mostly do it in the day because most of the people on LinkedIn, they will be more active during working hours. So like 8 to 5, some who might work 8 to 4 and such. So what I would say too that in terms of LinkedIn, um, doing your live videos, it should be more than any day. But Instagram different because Instagram is social media. So you will find that more people will be on social media after working hours in the night, late nights. So that is a tip for individuals who want to go live on LinkedIn, but they want to know when's the best time to go live. I would say anytime 8 to 5. Because in the night you
Well,
wouldn't get that engagement going forward since it's a business platform for
well,
LinkedIn. But
I've
for
seen some people go live, later, like Shanae Moray, but she's built that
well,
something
those are people who have like 1 million followers. So the average person who may have 1,000 to let's say 10,000 followers, they will have to go live during the day. She can go live anytime. She could go live 3 o'clock in the morning, and she would have viewers.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
always
a
say
fact.
listen to your view. I also say consistency is key. If you can't do it during the day because you work and
Yes.
this is your brand that you do outside of your job and out of respect for your job, your 9 to 5, you do the live after work. That makes sense. You are doing it 6, promote that and you keeping that consistency, then
Mhm.
people will tune in. That's key. That's what I would say.
Yes,
Like
consistency. Yeah, I agree on that. Once it is that you tell someone every time that you go live is by this time, they will always look out for that and you'll be consistent on it so that they come like who following you, they will always look out for you at that particular time. So that
right.
is understandable, makes sense. But in terms of, it have the post in times because I saw, right, on LinkedIn, they said that Wednesday and other days, but Wednesday at 9 to 11 a.m. is where it is they consider a high priority time where they disperse your content in terms of the algorithm to a wide audience. So that is a great time to post because posting is crucial. And even on TikTok, posting is crucial. All social media platforms. It have some days they get low engagement, some days they get high engagements. I can tell you for a fact on Instagram and LinkedIn, posting on Mondays and Fridays is a very low engagement. On a Friday, anytime you post after 12, 1 o'clock, it will be a very low engagement. You have to try to post maybe early because people start to wind down after 12, 1 o'clock. So posting times is very crucial. So if posting times is crucial, your life also will affect that because it works hand in hand.
Well, one thing that I like about Instagram is they show you the insights. So in the
Yeah.
insights, you can see when do you have most of your people and what time, what days. And
Mm-hmm.
so I do agree that you should pay attention. You should also pay attention to who is your audience. If your
Yes.
audience is 9 to 5, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when Friday comes, you want to post content, says, yay, the weekend's here. If you're posting to entrepreneurs, a lot of them, many of them who are in the service industry, restaurants, hair, their business is booming on the
Mm-hmm.
weekend. So Friday is like a Monday for them. So you want to put things
Yeah.
that are motivating them versus like maybe maybe for them Monday and Tuesday, maybe they're off days. You're like, the way you post. So understanding your audience that you're targeting, what are their times that are best to hit, what kind of content to post out, because if your majority of your people are, like we said, a certain group that performs more on the
Mm-hmm.
weekend, you want to hype them up for the weekend versus trying to hype them up on a Monday. And then
Yeah.
I would just say, poll your I would even just ask your audience, like, what time do you want to see me? Because lately I've been posting very late on LinkedIn, but still have really high engagement. And
Mm-hmm.
then, on Instagram, I actually use this hack, which is before you post, you engage for 15 minutes, then you post 5 minutes, and then you engage for another 15 minutes.
Sounds great. Sounds awesome because what I know for LinkedIn, your content is dispersed for 24 hours. After 24 hours, basically you have to post on new content because the algorithm don't try to send out your post to a wider audience. For example, TikTok, when you post a video content, their algorithm sets out for 24 to 32 hours. So each platform have a different in terms of wider audience. Instagram, I would say that when I Google it, they said that Instagram do not have a 24-hour period. When you post, you can get engagement tomorrow, the other day, and so
Mhm.
forth and so forth. So in essence, you have to understand how each platform work and then try to capitalize on the algorithm going forward. And that's what I try to do. I just not posting on each platform like a madman. I researched each platform, understand the algorithm, the posting times and such, and just repurpose my content for each platform. Then I provide content on one platform and then provide other content on a next platform the same day. That basically taken up my whole time. So just provide one content, repurpose it for each content and for each platform, and basically that is it. So you do not have that time consuming on social media by providing content. After that is all about you just engaging. When someone comment on your post, you engage and you engage in other people posts because a comment is considered content. Some people don't understand that. So some days like the Monday and the Friday, days I may not post, I would engage, I will take those days to engage in other person's content because you want now so people to see you. So when you engage in their content, they'll be like, hey, great feedback that you give. And they now will research your profile and realize that you are active on the platform and providing daily content, or whether it be 3 or 4 times for the week per se. So these are the things that we want to always implement going forward because we want that brand awareness. We want to reach individuals, and we want individuals to reach us also. So we can't just post content out there and expect now somebody to engage in us. We have to engage also, and make it a two-way flow.
Mm-hmm. It has to be a two-way flow. You can't just,
Yeah,
and also
correct.
writing a comment, just don't write, oh, this is great. Like they say, I learned this on Instagram. It's like 3 to 4 sentences. Be thoughtful,
Hmm.
make sure that what you comment makes sense and it's thoughtful.
Yes.
And it you'll be surprised how a thoughtful comment can go. And you don't have to write this long thing. Just write 2 to 3 sentences, go to the next, and even time yourself so you don't need to sit there and be for hours engaging with everybody. You can be just strategic and comment on people who you're
Hmm.
targeting. You want to come to your page, and then two, don't make it so long. Just do 2 to 3 sentences. That's it.
So true. Because what I realize too, sometimes when I post a content, someone might engage in my post, and they might engage in my post something different to the content that I provide. So it's
Mm,
just to show you that they did not take the time to read or watch your video. But what I does, though I might provide a video content, I will still put some content text based so that they now will have an idea as to what the video is. So that is our next thing too. When it is you doing something like that, let's say you do that on somebody profile who you're interested to work with, or a company that you're interested to work with in the future, they will be like, I'm not interested in hiring this person or accepting this person's services because this person is not they're not watching what it is I am posting. So if it is that you have that kind of that thinking span, or should I say short span, where you just watch somebody profile or somebody content, and you think that that person um that you think exactly that that is the content, and you just comment, and you just basically make yourself look stupid at the end of the day. So you have to really go through the content, maybe pick out the best words from the content so that you could understand the content. Because I don't actually read through the whole content or what the entire video, but you could read a bit and you could be like, yes, I understand exactly where you're coming at, so I could reply on that, and reply pertinent to the content, and that's just not reply just so. So these are
yeah.
things that people have to take in consideration, because people do watch what it is you comment on their posts. They do watch that, because a comment is valuable. A comment is more valuable than a like. Anybody could like. You could like, but when it is you provide a great comment, people will be like, whoa, that was awesome. Let me, respond to this person. And then they now might go on your profile, and then now you could build a relationship going forward, and then and that person could do business. So,
Yep.
it's a two-way flow. Everything is a two-way flow. It's all about building a genuine relationship going forward.
It is. It is. It's definitely two ways. I mean, we talked about from, how you can set up, think about what it is that your brand is and what your intent and
Mhm.
messaging is, to, how you can reach out to people, to just set up and what you need to go live. And now it's just wondering, if you're at this point of this live, you are the true one because you stayed until here to watch this replay. If you have questions, if you have, you want to learn more about me, definitely you can just find me on LinkedIn, or you can find me on Instagram, Next Love Consulting _ Shri. And also, I wanted to make an announcement that I will be featuring a special person every week on Wednesday to share wisdom. So I'm starting this series, just like my entrepreneurs. It's basically entrepreneurs, where they'll be
Yeah.
sharing some wisdom, and I will share them in my stories on Wednesday. I thought Wednesday takeover, then I was just like Wednesday wisdom. So you get some wisdom on
Yes.
Wednesday.
I love that. Wednesday wisdom. And the middle of the week is a great time to do a live video. So
It's
Wednesday,
not a
Wednesday
lie.
wisdom.
It's
Hmm?
in the stories of. It's in the
In
story
the
part.
stories.
Yeah,
Okay.
of
Oh, yes,
LinkedIn.
yes. Understand. Yeah. Yeah. That is great. You know, much people do not use the stories, and stories is so awesome because we saw that on Instagram, we saw that on Facebook. What I use the story as a strategy for, like for example, when we finish this live, I will put on my story new posts. I will put the link so that and put exactly what is the story, what is the life about, so that they now can click on the link and go right to my new post. So you're using your story to promote your new video or your new post. So that is a great tip that people could use and utilize going forward.
Yep. And I'm over here telling Antonio, let's wrap up. I'm becoming the boss. He's probably going to be like, I'm never bringing this girl again.
Yes, let's wrap it up because on my end, Wi-Fi is not too nice right now. So in closing, Shri, what do you have to tell the audience?
I just want to first say thank you, Antonio, for having me on your LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. And I just want to say that you
Hmm.
were like, if you guys didn't catch his live, you can catch it on my Instagram page. This guy is the real deal. He knows what he's talking about. He knows sales, he knows marketing. Super amazing guy to sit down and talk strategies with.
Thank you.
And if you have questions and if you're a solopreneur and you're still trying to figure out all this camera stuff, I would love to be able to help you because I was there before. I was scared. I was not confident and I found a way to get past that. And I would love to be able to help you because live streaming is the way business is going. We have influencers who are
Yeah.
going on Amazon
Hmm.
and showing the world like this is what I like and this is what I recommend, and you sit there watching them and then you purchase. Why can't your business be just like that?
Awesome. And Shri, I would like to say thank you for coming on my live. And it was very informative. And I enjoyed this conversation. And anyone who want to reach out to Shri, please do so on LinkedIn, Instagram. You have to be on one of her live. It's awesome. She's an energetic individual and she makes you feel very comfortable. So Shri, it was great, awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.